Hi everyone, Kate here, and in this video, I'll be experimenting with how to build a better rag curler. Now, a rag curler is exactly what it sounds like. It's a strip of fabric, or a rag, used to curl the hair. For those of you who've watched my channel for a while, you may be aware that I'm not the biggest fan of rag curlers. I have tried them in the past, but with either disappointing results or massive tangling issues, which even led me once to have to cut the curlers out of my hair. Yes, it was as bad as it sounds. Besides this, rag curlers, while technically a historically accurate curling method, were typically used more by children. Women used proper curlers if they had the option. Rag curls are notoriously frizzy and not as perfectly shaped as the ringlets from something like a kid curler. On the plus side, they are cheap to make and relatively easy to sleep in due to their flatness. Now, I've really been in the mood to make some new curlers lately, and as I can't find my hacksaw to make the wooden Edwardian curlers that I've been dying to test out, I decided instead to put my massive pile of scrap fabric to good use and give rag curlers another go. For this project, you will need some fabric, preferably scrap fabric in keeping with the whole rag curler thing. Traditionally, a soft, natural material would have been used, such as a cotton, but I wondered if this was partly what contributes to the frizzy aspect of rag curls, so I experimented with 5 different fabrics: a silky smooth polyester, a cotton jersey, a slightly coarse linen, a regular cotton, and some craft felt. In terms of equipment, you need either a sewing machine, a serger, or just a needle and thread and some basic sewing skills. Except if you're just using the jersey scraps. All you need for those is a pair of scissors. I started by cutting my fabric into various lengths, keeping in mind they must be long enough to be tied closed. In the end, I found 8 to 10 inches to be the ideal length, with 1 to 1.5 inches wide after hemming being the ideal width. Some I cut about 2 inches wide if I planned on stitching a narrow hem, and others I cut closer to 1.5 inches wide if I planned on using my serger. Now onto the sewing. Part of my past nightmares with rag curlers came from the loose threads becoming entangled in my own hair, so we will be making some nice little hems on all of these but the jersey ones. As jersey doesn't typically fray, at least not in the same way as regular cotton. For the ones made on the sewing machine, I experimented with 2 different techniques. One set I made with a narrow hem. This is made by folding over the edges once, and then folding over again. These narrow folds are then sewn down with the sewing machine. This is also easy to do by hand if you happen to have more patience than I do. The other method I tried on the sewing machine was to take the long edges of the curler and sew them together into a tube, which was then flipped right way out to encase the raw edges inside the curler. If you care not a whit about historical accuracy and happen to have a serger, may I suggest using the narrow hem or rolled hem feature. Now, I love historical accuracy as much as the next girl, but I'm not above using a convenient modern shortcut. Okay, so I lost the footage of me actually putting the curlers in, but let's talk through the process quickly. To use rag curlers, you simply wrap the hair, starting at the ends, around the rag as you would with any curler. Then tie the ends to secure the hair in place. I like to spray my set with water after putting them in, and then let them set overnight for best results. Out of the 5 curler materials, the jersey and the felt ones were the easiest to roll, with the cotton and polyester both being the trickiest to work with. The linen ones unfortunately ended up just being too short, and thus fell at the first hurdle. I couldn't even put them in. Okay, time to see how these curlers turned out. Sleeping-wise, they were all pretty much the same comfort level, so the quality of the curl will be the deciding factor. I took one of the silky polyester ones out first with rather meh results, but I'm reserving judgment as sometimes my front curl just does odd things regardless of the curler. Next up, the cotton curler, which was sewn into a tube. This one slid out of the hair very nicely, and the curl had quite a nice shape. Although it was perhaps slightly droopier than I would have preferred, I like the curls to set a bit more tightly, as they are going to just naturally droop a bit over time. Onto the jersey ones. These came out much more tightly curled than the cotton, although the jersey was a bit finicky to remove from the hair. No scary moments where it got caught per se, just a bit more work to unwind the hair, which tends to lead to a slightly frizzier curl. Now for the felt ones. These slid easily out of the hair and gave a beautifully structured curl. The ease of wrapping them initially also meant I got the ends of the ringlets looking much neater. And lastly, let's see how the other silky polyester curler with the hemmed edges did. I tied this one in a bow to see if it helped the curler stay in better, which it didn't really, they were both about the same. The addition of the bow mostly just led to extra tangles. Whew, okay, a bit of a moment there. All my past rag curler horrors came flooding back, but luckily I was able to remove it without any drastic measures. But look at those ends! The thinness of the material makes wrapping it much more difficult, with wonky ends as a result. The silky ones, which I had rather high hopes for, are actually my least favorite. Speaking of which, I think in order from worst to best, we go silky polyester, cotton jersey, the regular cotton tube, and then the felt ones coming out on top as the winner. They actually won by quite a bit in my opinion. Were I to do a full set, I would just use felt and stay clear of any other material. The results were far, far superior, plus they were easier to work with. Well, this set's a bit wonky, but as with any curler set that doesn't quite work out, one can always turn it into an updo. Well, that's it for this week. Let me know if you've ever used rag curlers and how you found them. I'd love to know your experiences. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! This video was made possible through the generous support of my Patreons. Thank you.